Zoning Board of Appeals meeting this Thursday, April 17th, 2025. Meredith, would you call the roll, please?
Karen Berger,
Present.
Nicole Kopic,
Here.
Raphael Katz,
Present.
Allison Morales,
Present.
Ada Rogers, Charlotte Burry.
Present. I need a motion to approve the minutes of March the 20th, 2025.
I approve them.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you very much. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals. To do a little bit of explaining, this is what we call a quasi-judicial board. Everything in this room is recorded, and it's kept on record exactly as it would be if you went to the courthouse. We are here to hear your variance or your special exception, which you are in opposition with our code of ordinances, and we will hear everything that you have to say. This is also a public hearing. Anybody, when you are finished making your presentation, anyone is able to come up to speak either for or against, and you have the right to have a rebuttal at the end. And then the board may ask you questions in between. When your item is called, you will come to that podium and that microphone, state your name and spell your last name and state your address. And then when I introduce the board, Mr. Reale will read into the record the city's position on the matter, and then you will be able to state your case. In order to have also everything on the record, you must be sworn in. So anyone who is going to speak or thinks they are going to speak, would you please rise and raise your right hand? Meredith?
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated. Before I start, I'd like to kind of introduce our board. To my far right is Scott Reale, which some of you have probably already know from the Development Services Department in the city. To my far left is James Saunders, who is our city attorney. And the young lady that's sitting behind the glass is the one that sends us all your paperwork and keeps us in line. The two people to my right and the three people to my left, including myself, we are citizens of Pompano Beach, and we serve without any compensation. Okay. Item number 1, P&Z 25-500004. Is there anyone here to represent the postponement of this item? I guess we just postpone it.
Yeah, the applicant doesn't need to be present, as long as they provided written
Okay.
list, yeah.
We'll postpone it to May
15th.
15th. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, we're going to take something out of order now. I'm going to go to item number 3 and take that out of order as a special request. So the representative of P&Z 11-000002, please come to the microphone. Are you Mr. Rufo? Raphael, I'm sorry. Pronunciation of people's last names isn't always
Yeah.
best thing that we do.
So it's Ruffu, R-U-F-F-U.
Your address, sir.
777 South Federal Highway, Pompano Beach.
Thank you. Mr. Reale.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, Scott Reale with Development Services. The applicant landowner is seeking a variance from Section 15103G1 of the Pompano Beach Code of Ordinances to allow the construction of a dock that extends up to 11 feet into the waterway, exceeding the maximum permitted extension of 8 feet from the measurement reference line as stipulated by the code. The subject property is located within the Island Club condominium complex along the west side of South Federal Highway between Southeast 7th Street and Southeast 9th Street on the north end of the C-414 canal. The applicant seeks approval to replace an existing dock within its current footprint. Under Chapter 151, Beaches and Waterways, dock extensions into a canal are limited to a maximum of 10% of the canal's width, or 8 feet, whichever is less. A building permit, which was BP 23-8813, was submitted, but the engineering reviewer indicated that a variance would be required because the dock's proposed extension exceeds the allowed 8-foot limit from the property line. The applicant is requesting a variance to extend the dock an additional 3 feet beyond the current limit to create a fully functional dock. Limiting the extension to 8 feet would result in shallow water depths that could prevent proper boat mooring. The proposed dock replacement has received approval from both Broward County's Environmental Permitting Division and the South Florida Water Management District. Furthermore, the width of the proposed dock is consistent with several other docks located along the rear of the property. As outlined in Section 15109B1, property owners seeking exemptions from the standards of Chapter 151 must first present their request to the Marine Advisory Board for review and recommendations. A meeting was held on March 18th of 2025 where the MAB unanimously recommended approval of this variance. The MAB's recommendation memo is included in the supporting documents for this application. There are 8 variance review standards. I've noted them in the staff report. The applicant has addressed each of these, and should the board determine that the applicant has provided competent, substantial evidence sufficient to satisfy those review standards, staff recommends the board include the following 2 conditions as part of the order. 1, obtain all necessary governmental permits and approvals, including building and zoning compliance permits, and 2, substantial compliance to the plans submitted with this application. And that concludes staff's report, although I do want to say that we do have with us Mr. David McGurr, who's the Chief Engineering Inspector, who is very knowledgeable about this sort of thing if you have any technical questions, because this is not in the zoning code, not my area of expertise.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Rufo.
So, like I said, I'm the owner of the property. I've applied for permits March of 2023 to have the dock replaced. It's basically fallen in the water at this point. It's been 2 years. It's in the same existing footprint as it's been for the last 20 years. Nothing has changed. All the existing docks next to me, behind me, they're all the same size. All come out to the same length into the waterway. We applied for the permits, then we got shifted to South Florida Water Management, which we were there for at least 6-7 months. We got all the approvals. We had to send divers out for seagrass. All that was approved. Then it got bounced back to Pompano Beach again for the final approval. Then they said you got to get a variance. So we've been going through the variance process another 7 months. It's like I said, it's been a 2-year process to achieve all these permits, and I believe we've done everything that we've been asked to do. And then, like I said, it's the same exact footprint as the existing dock. Nothing has changed at that point.
Yeah, so it's, from reading the backup material, all you want to do is to replace a dock that was already there, the same length that it was before, but by the time you had the other dock and this new dock came in, our code changed.
I believe so. That's correct. Yes.
Okay,
It's been quite a bit of time because
Thank
it
you.
has to be at least 25 years old.
I understand. Anything else?
I believe that's it.
That's it? Okay, can I have the
Simple
engineer?
plug and play. Yep. And this is my contractor, so.
The engineer.
Hi, Dave McGurr, MC, GIRR, Chief Engineering Inspector, City of Pompano Beach, 13 Southeast 19th Avenue, Pompano. We have no objections.
You have no objections? Okay. Does the board have any questions of the applicant? Is anyone in the audience for this proposal? Is there anyone against this proposal? Public hearing is now closed. Board discussion or a motion?
Based on the fact that the dock is replacing what's been there for probably 40 years, maybe, give or take, exactly as it was, I move that we approve I'm sorry, I know, I'm new.
Into the mic, Mr. Katz.
Yep. in P and Z case number, what is this case number?
11-00002.
Okay. I move we find there's competent substantial evidence in the record that all requirements for granting the variance have been met, and they grant the variance subject to there are no conditions requested by
Two
staff.
conditions.
Oh, there are, okay.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Meredith, will you call the roll, please?
Raphael Katz,
Yes.
Karen Berger,
Yes.
Nicole Kopic,
Yes.
Allison Morales,
Yes.
Ada Rogers, Charlotte Burry.
Yes. Build your dock, sir. You're very welcome. You have a good evening. Okay, we will now proceed to item number 2, which is a special exception, P and Z 11-000011. And the petitioners are, let me see if Schlabowski? What?
Shablinsky.
Okay, I tried.
This is Evgeny Shablinsky. My name is Alina Shablinskaya, Shablinskaya, 327 Southwest 13th Avenue, Pompano Beach.
Thank you. Mr. Realer.
Thank you again. In this case, the applicant is requesting special exception approval for the waste-related use component as required by Section 155-4229B and Section 155-4601 of the Pompano Beach zoning code. This approval will allow the subject property, which is zoned I-1, to be used for an unlisted activity that combines waste-related and motor vehicle service functions as detailed in the Development Services Department Interpretation Letter 25-045-00001. This property is located on the west side of Southwest 13th Avenue between Racetrack Road, which of course is Southwest 3rd Street, and Southwest 4th Street in the Andrews Industrial District. The applicant's business model does not align directly with any of the uses specified in the zoning code. As such, applicants may request an interpretation for unlisted uses. In this case, the applicant submitted a request for an interpretation, and the Development Services Director provided a response in that interpretation letter, again 25-045-00001, which is included in the application package. The business involves an auto wrecker operation where transmissions, steering racks, and other components are removed, diagnosed, rebuilt, and listed for sale on eBay. The inoperable cars are then sent to a junkyard. The applicant agreed that the use should be classified similarly to an automotive repair and maintenance facility, while the city initially classified it as a waste-related service use. The applicant disagreed with this classification and compared it to both auto wrecking services and automotive repair and maintenance facilities in the zoning code. And after evaluating the request, the city determined that the business contains elements of a materials recovery facility, which involves extracting recyclable materials from waste, in this case, reusable vehicle parts. While this use does not fully match either automotive repair and maintenance facility or auto wrecking services, it incorporates aspects of both. And since the proposed use is not explicitly defined in the zoning code, the city has classified it as an unlisted use that could be permitted in the I-1, General Industrial Zoning District, subject to approval of a special exception. That's why we're here tonight. If approved, the use must comply with the specific standards, including operating within an enclosed building, access via paved public right-of-way, fencing to control access, and adherence to solid waste management regulations. Additionally, this unlisted use must adhere to the applicable standards outlined in 155-4219A, which governs commercial motor vehicle sales and service uses. There are 13 special exception review standards. They're included in this staff report. The applicant has addressed each of these in very explicit detail and went through each of them carefully. And should the board determine that the applicant has provided competent substantial evidence sufficient to satisfy those 13 review standards for a special exception, staff recommends the following conditions be included in the order. The first one is that the applicant must obtain all necessary permits and approvals, including a zoning use certificate, and a business tax receipt. And the second recommended staff condition, compliance with applicable waste-related service uses and motor vehicles, sales and service uses listed in Interpretation Letter 2504500001. And that concludes staff's report.
Thank you.
So,
Please go ahead.
good afternoon, dear members of the board. Thank you, Scott, for your presentation. I would like to add some more details about our business. First of all, I would like to stress one more time that though our business model does not directly align with any particular use in the zoning code, all our operational activities can be identified within the uses permitted in the code, such uses as automotive repair and maintenance facilities, automotive wrecker, and wholesale. And please note that in our case, the applicant, the tenant, and the owner of the property is the same person, Evgeny Shablinsky. Quality OEM is licensed by the Florida DMV as a dealer of salvaged motor vehicles. According to the Florida statutes, this means, and I quote, any person who engages in business of acquiring salvaged motor vehicles for reselling them and their parts. So what do? We buy damaged cars at auto auctions, and the majority of these cars are rather new, up to 5 years old and with low mileage, below 50,000 miles, like the vehicle on the top photos that you can see in the presentation. Once a vehicle arrives at our facility, it is put on a lift, and all fluids are drained for proper disposal. Then a skilled technician starts to dismantle it, carefully extracting valuable afterparts, such as engines, transmissions, headlights, electronics, etc. Then the parts are tested, cleaned, photographed for further sale on eBay platform. And the remainder of the car is towed off the property to a junkyard. So, as you can see, our business is fundamentally different from a junkyard. Our facility is super clean, very organized. We do not store dismantled cars. We do not cut them. All operations are performed within the building, and we do not pollute the environment in any way. As for our eBay store, I should say that in 2023, we were recognized as top auto store in Florida. In 2024, our sales growth was almost 4 times more than the industry growth. Our eBay store has more than 12,500 positive reviews, more than 80,000 happy customers, and more than 5,000 followers. Our company adheres to strict business, environmental, and safety standards. That can be confirmed by its membership in the Automotive Recyclers Association, ARA. We obtained the ARA certification in 2023 in order to sell some parts on eBay. And this membership requires yearly audits by an independent company. Our business will have no adverse impact on any neighboring properties or the available capacity of existing public services and facilities. It will not generate any significant traffic. The property is surrounded by similar industrial uses such as auto repair shop, truck repair shop, used car dealer, and even outdoor propane storage facilities. The nearest residential area is more than 2,000 feet away. And there will be no adverse impact on area's natural resources. And in fact, such businesses as Quality OEM contribute significantly to environmental sustainability. By reselling used auto parts, they help to save energy, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and to decrease demand for raw materials. And less waste go to landfills. And they also promote a culture of sustainable behavior by encouraging to reuse auto parts. And such businesses as Quality OEM provide cost-effective options for their customers. So instead of buying low-quality Chinese auto parts, they can obtain original, high-quality parts at prices much lower than new components. And car owners can also find originally equipment manufacturer, which is OEM parts, that may not be readily available elsewhere. For example, sometimes they have to wait like 6 months before they get a new part from a European factory. And even official dealerships like Audi North Miami, Porsche Broward, or Mercedes Fort Lauderdale buy parts from us, like engines or headlights or transmissions. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for this? Anyone in the audience would speak against this? Please come to this microphone, sir. And
Good evening.
please state your name, spell your last name, and
Yes.
your address.
Randy Roush, R-A-U-C-H, and my address is 1770 Northeast 37th Street in Oakland Park.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, okay. This morning, two of my clients received notice of this hearing just yesterday. So this morning, I wrote an email to the zoning department, and basically, I'm just going to read that email to you all. My profession is commercial industrial real estate brokerage. I do sales, leasing, and property management. Two of my clients have received this notice for this special exception. And those two clients own over 50,000 square feet on Southwest 13th Avenue. So it is the majority of the buildings on that street. As the owner's property manager and leasing agent, they have asked me to respond to the special exception application as they and I have serious concerns about the applicant's use of the building at 327 Southwest 13th Avenue. From our understanding and based on the notice of public hearing, that the property in a I-1 zone would be used for an unlisted activity that combines waste-related and motor vehicle service functions. This is a major concern since the building located at 305 Southwest 13th Avenue, which is what she had mentioned was the truck and auto repair. And they're a tenant at that location. The tenant is leasing that property and has been there for many years. We've had a continual problem as they park large trucks in the street, causing a hazard to traffic on the road. They continually park in my client's swale area across the street, which has now been, the swale area is totally destroyed now. And parking in my client's parking lot and entryways. It has literally been a nightmare for me as a property manager and the property's tenants. Therefore, we strongly object for the property at 327 Southwest 13th Avenue, the applicant, to use this property as a similar use described above. There is also a concern on the vague description of their business, which I understand more about at this point. That's basically my email, but I'd like to just expand a little bit. I have over 40 years of experience in industrial real estate, and I have dealt with automotive uses on several occasions. And in my experience, automotive type businesses are dirty They park in the street because they get so many vehicles in that their industrial property doesn't have that much parking. So they get all these vehicles in,
Go ahead.
and they have to park them somewhere. So they park them out in the street or in the swell areas of other properties. And right across the street from this building is one of my clients' buildings. So we're very concerned that this will happen again on this street, which it'd be hard to get tenants in these buildings that I lease and manage with this type of businesses on this street.
So your concern is actually parking of vehicles out in the front of the building so that your tenants can't get in and out?
My major concern is that this type of use typically does not have enough parking, so they park outside of their property line on the street or in neighboring property swale areas. And access on that street has been a nightmare with this truck repair company, and we just hate to see this street turn into automotive uses. In my experience, that use should be in a B4 or I1X for this type of use. So
Okay. Thank you.
that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you answer some of his concerns,
Sure.
please?
I can understand what this gentleman was saying. There are some old-fashioned, dirty auto businesses that use the surrounding roads to park their vehicles. But in our case, we have a large parking lot in front of the building, 12 parking spaces. And we have no trucks, no vehicles will be parked outdoors except for the vehicles of the staff. There will be like 3, 4, maximum 5 person at the same time. We are not a retail store. There will be no customers on site, so we will not generate any significant traffic. There will be no trucks delivering cars. It may be just up to 2 times per week, a small flatbed, one space truck, as you could see on the photo. And I think it's more like an issue of these properties that lease from you, but not from our side. And we are, as I have already mentioned, we are the member of the Association of Automotive Recyclers. They have very strict regulation about oil leaks on any part of the building inside or parking space or in front of the building. So if we had any oil leaks or some dirt, we would not get this certification. And in last year, we successfully passed inspection by Department of Environmental Protection, and they had no questions to us. So, would you like to?
Thank you. Do you have anything to say?
I'm Yauheni Shablinsky.
And state your name
Yauheni.
and your address.
Shalinski. It's my wife and my ex-daughter. We are new generation. I know that everybody here are like salvage, use of the part. Everybody think it's like is everything gonna be dirty, everything gonna be like a mess. We are completely different. If you want, you can come to my property in Hollywood, 5741 Dewey Street. You can Google it right now. Just put in the Google, Quality OEM Inc. Quality OEM Inc. So I'm serious. 5741 Dewey Street. And you will see who is me. All feedbacks. I'm super clean. Super clean. If anybody from my guys puts a couple oil and a concrete
Sir,
inside, they're gonna clean.
Sir, please speak to the board, not to the audience.
I'm really sorry. No, because I understand him. I know when I bought this property a month ago. I saw it's a lot of trucks stay in a road. When you turn to 13th Avenue, you will see a lot of trucks. But I am not a police officer. I can say nothing for them. For my opinion, it's like someone from City Hall can come over there, give it some tickets, and can figure out this problem.
Okay.
We got gated property, everything is closed, we do business inside, only inside. we like I said before, we new generation. We do everything on eBay. It's like super smart, super easy, without any compliance for everybody.
Can I ask
Thank
you
you.
a question?
Yeah, the board has a question.
Just really quick, maybe I missed it in the informational packet, but at any given time, how many cars can you, I guess, keep inside of your actual warehouse?
We don't keep cars inside.
Okay.
We
so-
got like 1-2 cars inside at least, because I do expensive cars like Porsche, Bentley, something like this.
Right.
It's like, it's like we bring the car inside, we keep like, it's like for us, it's like need like 48 hours just to remove some high value parts. After that, we send shell to junkyard
Right.
and a small flatbed, and everything else we just do what we can sell it.
No, I understand, but I am looking at some photos, right? And you have cars up on the lift, and that's my assumption
It's
that
like
you're.
mechanical shop.
I understand, but how many then, let's say, lifts do you have for how many?
Right now in Hollywood, I got 2 lifts. In Pompano, I got 5,000 square foot. It's going to be 1 lift, 1 car. It's enough for us. It's really enough. It's not so easy to buy good Porsche with low mileage for our business. It's not so easy.
Sure.
Sometimes the lift stay empty.
So do you work on one car at a time?
We got right now. We
Just
got 2.
generally, what's in your business practice when you're saying?
We're gonna get 1 lift, 1 car. That's it. It's enough for us. Our business is sell parts, not to bring cars and keep cars. We need to sell parts.
And how long typically does it take for you to turn around, let's say, the average car that you receive and break down
48
the
hours.
parts? I'm sorry?
48 hours.
48 hours to break it down.
Maximum 48 hours.
And then once you've broken that down and taken the parts from the car, and you said you have the shell and you ship that off to the junkyard,
No, shell going to junkyard, correct.
how long does that take?
Same evening.
Same.
Right now in Hollywood, I got driver, he come for us every evening at 6 o'clock. Today he's left, yes, he's already left. I can show you a video, you can see it's like how he coming, he pick her up and he left. And he's happy because he got shell from me for free. That's why almost every second day, 6 o'clock, he stay on the property to pick up the shell.
So every day there is a
Not every
flatbed
day,
truck.
every second day.
Every second day, there's a flatbed truck at your property to retrieve a
Yes.
shell of a vehicle.
It's like in a good season.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of the board?
I do have questions, actually. I was asking him to repeat because I didn't understand that last answer.
Which one?
I didn't understand it, so I don't know the last thing you said.
He said that every other day, there's a person that picks up the shell of the car.
Okay.
Like we
He
need
is
like 2
taking out
days
the
to remove some, for example, right now we got Porsche on the lift. My mechanic need 2 days just to remove some electrical parts inside, engine, transmission, front of the car, and we shell to junkyard. That's it.
So the 5,000 square foot facility is the intention, the new one in Pompano,
Yes, I just bought it.
is the intention to keep it at 1 lift, or can you? if you-
It's more than enough.
hold on. But if you wanted to, could you add more lifts?
What do you mean?
Well, how many do you have in Hollywood?
2?
Could you add more lifts in Pompano, and if so, how many?
No.
You only have space for 1.
In this property, yes, because I got 2 gates. One gate is, I got only 2 gates. One gate is like storage racks. We have to put storage racks everywhere. Second gate, we have to put 1 lift and storage racks for engines and something like this.
Okay.
Also, I have to do washer for my guys. It's like meeting room and something like this.
I'm sorry, I lost you there.
Also, I have to make like 2 offices inside.
Okay. So I did, when I was reviewing the backup, I keyed in on a couple of things, and one of them was towards the beginning here. You said it's not a typical junkyard, but that doesn't change it from being a junkyard. Am I wrong?
It's not a junkyard.
Okay, but you said it's not a typical junkyard, which implies that it is a junkyard of some sort, just not the typical one.
No, junkyard, keep cars on the property and remove some parts. For example, you're a client, you come to the property and say, I want to buy fender. They go with you, they send someone and they bring you fender. They remove the fender. We don't do like this. We don't have customers on the property.
Okay.
I got huge eBay's account like with so many items. I don't need the customer on the property. It's very complicated for us. That's why we just keep the parts.
I'm also hung up on the fact that in section 1, you state that this is light and moderate use, correct?
Excuse me?
In section 1 of your narrative, you indicated, or maybe it was section 2, I'm looking now. You indicated somewhere in here that it was light and moderate use. What is your definition of light and moderate use?
I'm sorry, we just explained what is permitted in I-1 general industrial use, like we just explained the similar uses.
So you, okay. So you do believe that your use would fall in within the light and moderate?
Yes, we do. As I've had already mentioned, we are similar to the uses permitted in this zoning district. So we do not perform some heavy industrial activities.
What do you do with the environmental waste?
What do you mean by?
Environmental.
What do you do with the environmental waste?
You mean with oil antifreeze?
Oil,
We got two
fluids?
We got 2 cans. They come for us one time in 2 weeks and pick it up. And we use company from Pompano also. Before they call like Capital Scrap, now they got another name. It's a company from Pompano.
And then the other issue was in section 3.1C, when you're talking about the fenestration requirements, the windows. You believe that should not apply, but it does apply, correct?
Well, you know, it applies more to commercial buildings like auto shops. But as long as we are a wholesale company, we do not have retail operations, and the property is a warehouse. It's not supposed to have windows, right? It has just the gates. So that's why we are asking, we are stating that this section would not apply to us directly.
When the vehicles are delivered to your facility, and you said it's just one vehicle at a time?
Yeah.
Okay. When they're delivered, how are they delivered? And I'll tell you the reason I'm asking specifically. And I'm picturing in my mind, as I drive home sometimes on Federal Highway, there's that Ferrari dealership, and they block an entire lane of US 1 while they unload their vehicles. And I believe that's what the concern was, part of the concern from the other gentleman that spoke. So how do we address that?
Choose number 1. It's a regular flatbed, 1-car flatbed. I use shipping companies. They stay in North Miami.
Okay.
It just cost for me $100. They deliver it to him. He got big forklift, huge lot. They remove car and deliver it for me on a flatbed. It's much easy, much faster. It's no complicated for us.
Where do they deliver it to specifically? Is it your parking lot? Is it in the street? Where is that
My
delivery?
parking lot. I got gated parking lot.
So that delivery truck, that flatbed, goes into your gated
Yes,
parking lot?
he can come into my gate. Yes, that's why we bought this building, because it's huge gate. It's like 20 feet, something like this.
Okay, so it goes in, all the way in. It doesn't block any street, any swale, anything.
It even doesn't stop because we got private parking lot in the front, gated parking lot. I don't have a pictures, but you can see yourself. It's a gated parking lot. It's like he even doesn't stop on the street, like the gentlemen say. He doesn't block anything. He come to parking yard, our parking lot is enough space to turn around, and he left in 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes usually is enough time just to remove belts, chain, and take the money from us.
All right.
And he can leave without money.
Any other board discussion? Yes.
So you're totally wholesaling all these parts? You're not selling to like a private person who can come and pick up at your location?
Private person can come and pick up.
Yeah.
Because eBay policy is like agree with them. You
Right,
can
you
buy
can pick up.
something and offer for pickup. But usually when you got from us for pickup, we send the message and say like, please call us like 15 minutes before you come. It's going to be prepared for you. They come for our parking lot, like I got right now in Hollywood. They got special parking place, like visitors. They come, Our guys bring it to him, some parts, deliver it, just took from him barcode, like 6-digit pickup code or barcode, and they left.
Is most of your business, like, do you ship it out or do people come and pick it up?
Ship it out, 99%.
Okay.
Like people is lazy now. They don't want to come. They want to ship it by the door, and
Thank you.
Like Amazon.
like Amazon.
Is there any other board discussion?
Madam Chair, I only
Yes.
request that a lot of the questions that the board has presented may be contained in the interpretation provided by the department. And so
Yes.
it may be wise to ask the applicant if they've read that interpretation and they're willing to accept those conditions that are referenced, because I think I've heard a little bit of conversation about them, and some they say yes, some they say no, and so it may be clarification purposes. I'm assuming they've received the interpretation
Yes,
letter from the department.
we've received the interpretation from, in our backup.
Right, but the comments that have come through, Mr. Katz says, I'm guessing, looked at some of those, and the response that has been made was that that's not applicable. But in actuality, and that's why I was hoping Scott would address the issue, that the department has interpreted what is applicable as far as standards to this particular development. And as a result, if the board should approve, one of the conditions is that they're going to comply with that interpretation and all of the other standards that are referenced there.
And does the applicant understand that?
Yes, but I think that there's only one question that we were discussing, and this question is about the windows. That should be for a retail auto store. It's not directly aligns with our proposed use. As I explained to you, the building is a warehouse, and it's kind
So
of...
other than the window, you have,
no.
there's no problem in complying with that, what the city attorney said?
No.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Just to be clear, because, and some of my questions were actually coming from there, you're absolutely right. But the interpretation, the memo we received, says if we approve, then they request that the following conditions be met. One of them is that all of the operations, including storage and sorting, occur and be located within a fully enclosed structure. So I don't know if that parking lot would be considered a fully enclosed structure. That's one of the questions I was kind of trying to get at. So you're unloading in the parking lot, correct?
Of course.
And then access to the property has to be via a paved public right-of-way with a minimum width of 60 feet. That I don't know if
Yes.
that exists or not. I have
Right
no
of
idea.
way is 60 feet in front of the building.
And access is controlled through the use of a fence wall or gate, which you said it is, correct?
Sure.
Okay. And then the other thing is that you shall comply with solid waste management regulations, permitting requirements, permit conditions, which I think you said you absolutely do as well.
It was the interpretation of the zoning department that suggested that our business is kind of waste-related facility. We personally do not, how to say, we do not collect like paper, rags, trash, or something. As you can see, it's a bit different from a waste-related facility. If we do have, we are more than ready to apply all the standards and regulations. What we wanted to say in the narrative is that there is no similar use in the zoning code, and all that the zoning code has was waste-related facility and auto repair shop, which are closer than anything to our business. That's it.
Scott, can you address that issue for us?
Regarding the,
The waste disposal issue. And that, all the conditions, actually, if I'm going to say, you know,
Well, the staff condition was comply with all the applicable standards that were referenced in the interpretation. And I think, except for the fenestration, because it's an existing building, and they do have to provide, there's the perimeter buffer and landscaping, and there's a gate. I think we might be able to work with them on that. If there's other issues, I didn't. What are the other?
The first one is storing and sorting shall occur within a fully enclosed structure, which I get the storing and sorting. And so I don't know if unloading a vehicle is considered sorting, partially, I have no idea, or where the actual breakdown of the vehicle takes place, but I understood it's going to be all inside the building, correct?
So all storage will happen inside the building. And
We got unloading inside in the building, because if you're gonna open the map of this property, you will see we got one gate in the front and one gate in the back. He has come in the building, he parked inside, we leave the car inside, and he left in the back door. We got two doors, one in the front, one in the back.
So maybe I want to make sure I understand. The driver.
Yes, he
delivery
came inside
driver-
in the building.
Hold on. The delivery driver pulls into your building all the way. You have your forklift driver pop over. You don't even roll it off the flatbed. You got to, with a forklift, pick it up and take it down. Okay.
He left. We got two gates on the front and 6 gates on the back. That's why it's more than enough for us.
And again, you're telling us there is no solid waste coming from your building relating to this use?
solid waste?
Yeah, that's one of the conditions, that you may need to comply with state solid waste management regulations, permitting requirements, and permit conditions.
So the only solid waste is the remainder of the vehicle, the shell that is towed off the property to a junkyard. So no other solid waste.
Okay. So you're telling me there's no parts come off of that thing, no tires, no hoses that gets disposed of?
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
To sell many parts on eBay right now, you're supposed to be certified by ARA. They come to the property and they check each step. It's like more worse than OSHA. You know what they mean, OSHA, right? And these companies, they check everything. And they got super good regulation how to run this business. Without this IRA certification, I even can sell any airbag on eBay. I can sell any batteries. I can sell more parts. I can show you my sale history on eBay. You will see we really sell a lot of engines. Everything is people is happy because they got quality parts in the right time, in the right condition. And if anybody come to Hollywood, they will see. We never get any complaint from our neighbors. Never. Because we never keep cars outside. We never keep any tires outside because I know it's flammable. I'm not stupid.
My question was about what you're storing, the parts that you are storing, the batteries, are they like electric car batteries, or are they?
No, it's like regular batteries.
So they're not delivered.
I don't like electrical cars, to be honest.
You done? I'm done. Okay. Any other board member have any questions? Can I please have a motion?
I'll do it. In P and Z case, thank you. In P and Z case 25-17000001, I move to find there is competent, substantial evidence in the record that all requirements for granting the special exception have been met, and that we grant that special exception subject to the 2 conditions requested by staff.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion by this board? Meredith, would you call the roll, please?
Karen Berger,
Yes.
Allison Morales,
Yes.
Nicole Kopic,
Yes.
Raphael Katz,
No.
Ada Rogers, Charlotte Burry.
Yes. You got your special exception.
Thank you very much.
And now we shall move to item number 4, a variance from Yapank LLC, Yolanda Panadolfo.
Hello, my name is Bianca Pandolfo. I'm here on behalf of my mom with my architect, Juan.
Would you please state your name, spell your last name, and state your address?
Bianca Pandolfo, Pandolfo, address 1615 Southeast 1st Street, Pompano Beach, 330.
Thank you. Mr. Reale.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The applicant is requesting a variance from Section 155-3210C of the Pompano Beach zoning code to allow an after-the-fact addition to a single-family dwelling to encroach 2.4 inches into the required 10-foot interior side yard setback. Although the property is in the transit-oriented East Overlay District, it remains governed by the RM20 zoning standards until the dwelling converts to a new principal use. The property is located on the north side of Southeast 1st Street, between Southeast 15th Avenue and Southeast 17th Avenue, in the Cypress Creek Estates subdivision, 1 block south of Atlantic Boulevard. The subject property was first developed in the early 1950s as a single-family dwelling. At a later date, the previous owner constructed an addition without obtaining the required permits. This resulted in the opening of a code violation case. That was 11-06000084 in 2011, which remains unresolved until the necessary permits for the addition are obtained. Upon the current owner's attempt to secure an after-the-fact permit, which was through building permit 244759, it was discovered that the addition encroaches into the required 10-foot interior side yard setback by just over 2 inches. While this encroachment is considered minimal, de minimis, it is still in violation of the setback requirement. And given that the addition was built without the necessary permits, it cannot be granted a permit without seeking a variance to address the setback issue. It is important to note that the original portion of the home is set back only 7.17 feet from the interior side lot line. However, this portion of the house is legally non-conforming, having been approved and constructed with a valid building permit at the time. As such, the requested relief for the addition's encroachment is 2 feet 8 inches further away from the side lot line than the legally permitted setback of the original structure. There are 8 variance review standards. The applicant has addressed each of these, and should the board determine that the applicant has provided competent, substantial evidence to meet the 8 variance review standards, staff recommends the board include the following 3 conditions as part of the order. The first recommended condition, the applicant must obtain all required permits and approvals, including building and zoning compliance permits. 2, setback relief is granted solely for the as-built addition shown on the plan submitted with this application and building permit 244759. No additional encroachments will be allowed. And the third recommended staff condition, the applicant must resolve and close out code violation case 11-06000084. And that concludes staff's report. I just want to say again, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, not 2.5 feet. We're dealing with something very small, but because it's an after the fact, it's not eligible for an administrative adjustment. That's why it has to go before the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Before the applicant makes their presentation, I want to ask you, and maybe I should ask the code enforcement director, the building that was there before these people actually bought it, not knowing that there was a problem. Mario?
Good evening, Chair, members of the board. Mario Sotolongo, City of Pompano Beach Code Compliance Department. The question is, did they buy the property with this addition? And the answer is yes.
And the person that did the
property-
title on this should be sued.
When they bought the property, the addition existed on the property.
Thank you. Thank you, Mario. And thank you, Scott. And please go ahead.
So we bought the property and we found out, yeah, that it was built without the proper permits. And the previous owner, I guess, died, so we didn't know what to do with this. So just, we're attempting to get the proper permits and everything to then prove that this, addition was in fact sound and, built properly. So that's why I have the architect here who ran all the numbers and made the drawings to ensure that this dwelling was, in fact, not going to just collapse, like it's actually built well.
And then according to Mario, if this is granted and you're able to build it, then you would come into compliance with the code enforcement department. He's shaking his head yes. Okay.
And then we could go forward with getting those plans approved to close out this permit that the previous owner made. We made our own permit and then to,
Okay. Mario, you want to say something, Jim?
Just to state it on the record, should the variance is approved, then they can move forward with obtaining the after-the-fact permit, and then it'll cure.
Have to apply for permits for everything
Correct.
that was done.
Correct.
Correct. Please.
You may have.
Sure.
No, basically, the thing has been described as it is. They bought the house, and then when they,
I need you to state your name and spell your last name and your address.
Okay, my name is Juan Garcia. It's Garcia, and my address is 20. The address of the property or my
Your address.
My address is 2045 Maplewood Drive, Coral Springs.
Thank you. Now, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. They contracted me because they find out that addition was done without permits. When I did the drawings to correct that after the fact, one of the comments is like that addition was encroaching. I said 2 inches. And then, I did the drawings for the for the variance. And at this moment, there's not an easement. There's nothing. It's not even close to the next door neighbor. And like he pointed out, it's only 2 inches. So with this, if we get the approval for the variance, then they will approve the drawings for the after the fact, and as the gentleman said, it's like then everything will be brought up to par.
I see.
Yeah. So.
Thank you. You have anything further? No? Does the board have any questions? Please, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Please, make up your mind.
I was just wondering if there was any correspondence from neighboring properties.
There is no public correspondence.
And is it living? It's just to extend the living.
Is it like living? Like
Yeah, it's living area. Make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it's just a living room. I don't know. Honestly, it's just a big room. So it's a family room,
Family
TV room. Yeah. Multi-purpose room, yeah, just has hurricane windows and stuff, so.
Okay.
Meredith, do we have any letters on this item?
No letters.
No letters. Is there anyone in the audience that's for this petition? Anyone in the audience against this? Public hearing closed.
Right.
Any further discussion from the board or a motion?
I'll make a motion. So in P&Z case 25-11-000005, I move, we find there is competent and substantial evidence in the record that all the requirements for granting the variance have been met and that we grant the variance subject to the 3 conditions requested by staff.
Okay, I've had a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Meredith, please call the roll.
Nicole Kopic,
Yes.
Raphael Katz,
Yes.
Karen Berger,
Yes.
Allison Morales,
Yes.
Ada Rogers, Charlotte Burry.
Yes. Your request has been granted. Before we get into number 5, I need to know, do you all want a break or do you want to go through to the end of the agenda? We'll go through? Okay. Item number 5 is the variance for Broward County. Stewart, is it Dever or Deaver? Dever. I don't know, I still have the other one up there. Good evening, Mr. Deaver, would you state your name and your address, please?
My name is Chef Dever, Devier. My address is 881 Southwest 49th Terrace, Plantation.
Thank you. Mr. Reale.
Thank you. The applicant landowner is requesting a variance from Section 155-4303W3A of the Pompano Beach Zoning Code to waive certain screening standards for an outdoor storage pipe yard area, including a 10-foot wide perimeter landscape strip, which in Pompano we call a Type B buffer, along the north and west boundaries of the pipe yard. The property is located along the north side of West Copans Road, between Blount Road and Powerline. Broward County operates the site as a water and wastewater services facility, which is designated as a Homeland Security site due to critical utility operations conducted there. The property is currently undergoing minor site plan review, and that's P&Z case number 24-12000004, for various renovations and security improvements, including the formalization of a pipe yard storage area in the northwest section of the site. The pipe yard is classified as outdoor storage, which is subject to specific perimeter buffer and screening requirements. The applicant is requesting relief from these buffer and screening requirements primarily along the west and north boundaries of the pipe yard. They argue that the tree canopy buffer would create a security risk by making it easier for individuals to climb over the 8-foot tall fence and access materials within the yard. Additionally, there's no development immediately west and north of the pipe yard, which diminishes the need for a landscape buffer in these areas. There are 8 variance review standards. The applicant has gone through each of these in detail in their narrative, and should the board determine that the applicant has provided competent, substantial evidence to meet those review standards, staff recommends the following 2 conditions be included as part of the order. And the first is the applicant must obtain all required permits and approvals, including a site plan development order and building and zoning compliance permits. And the second recommended staff condition, substantial compliance with the conceptual site plan submitted, which again is P&Z 24-12000004. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Deaver.
Thank you. Broward County has the water wastewater facility that's been there, I think, since the 1980s. And they have this existing pipe yard. Use the pipe yard for storage.
Yeah, that microphone is difficult to hear.
So
Thank
they have an area that they use for pipe storage. They have a lot of pipe, and this area is a secure area currently. It's been there for quite some time. And they want to renovate it, basically. It's got asphalt paving. There were some green areas originally. It's at the end of a long parking lot that was part of the original construction of the project. So it's time to upgrade it, and they want to replace the fencing, put in concrete, remove all the asphalt, remove everything that's in there now, put in concrete. They're going to replace the driveway, which is kind of a land bridge going over a culvert for access. The fence will be 8-foot fence, electric gate, and to do this, we went to DRC, and there was questions about putting in the perimeter landscaping on the north and west area, and landscaping in this area poses a potential problem with security. People, if it's trees that are hanging over the property line or something of that sort, it could become an area for people to climb, get over the fence, and whatever they may do that is an issue. And we feel to put in the landscaping. This is the existing conditions. Put in the landscaping is a little bit of a hardship in a sense that it just is going to cause some problems down the road. Additionally, there is on the west side is undeveloped part of a bigger site that is mostly all trees. The north side is a pond with some vegetation up against the fence, and then beyond that is a wooded area that is also owned by Broward County. To the south side is an existing parking lot that we are proposing will be modified up against the new fence, which is actually in the same place as the existing fence, because whenever this pipe yard was created, they just threw in a fence to separate it from the rest of the parking. There was no landscaping added. If you were driving down an aisle, you just kind of bumped into a fence. So we're proposing to update all of that, put in landscape strip on the parking lot side, add some trees that would be required, making it a better parking lot, actually, easier to get in and out in that area. It is like Mr. Reel said, it is a Homeland Security property in that they provide water piping, and it's a water facility operation, wastewater. They do repairs to Broward County owned piping and that sort of thing.
This particular area is not, you can't even see this from the road if I'm.
Oh, no,
you can't.
Way in the back. You can't see.
Way in the back, yeah. I live over there, that's why I drive by it a lot. So, and I've never seen this, so it has to be in the back of the building itself.
Right, the parking lots along the west property line, and so you have to go in the driveway, and it's quite a ways back, just to get to the parking lot, and then this is even beyond, the whole pipe yard area is behind a guard booth and security fence for the property. So it's not anywhere near Copens Road or accessible by the public or anything like that.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
So the abutting properties on the north and west side, they're owned by the county, both of them?
Pardon?
The abutting properties on the north side and the west side are owned by the county?
Yeah, Broward County, west side is owned by someone else, I think the Teachers Insurance, but the pond that's just to the north is owned by someone else. But right beyond that is the wooded area that is also owned by Broward County.
Okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for this? Anyone in the audience to speak against this? Public hearing closed. Further board discussion. Can I have a motion? Please.
I'll make a motion that in P and Z case number 2511000006, I move we find there is competent, substantial evidence in the record that all the requirements for granting the variance have been met, and that we grant the variance subject to the 2 conditions requested by staff.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Meredith, would you please call the roll?
Raphael Katz,
Yes.
Allison Morales,
Yes.
Karen Berger,
Yes.
Nicole Kopic,
Yes.
Ada Rogers, Charlotte Burry.
Yes. Been granted.
Thank you.
We have completed our agenda, and I will need a motion to adjourn after I wish you all a wonderful and a very safe, happy, and healthy holiday weekend.
Thanks. I adjourn.
Thank you. And to you as well.
Motion to adjourn.
Excuse me?
And to you all as well.
Oh, thank you very, very much. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.